The time is now 6:53 on this Tuesday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go. A Superior boy accused of opening fire on Douglas County deputies earlier this year will be tried as an adult. That means Carson Peterson, who was 13 years old at the time of the incident, faces up to 60 years in prison. If convicted, Peterson is charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. And under Wisconsin law, that means his case has to start in adult court. You'll remember in May, Peterson was having a violent meltdown at his grandmother's home off Highway 35 in the town of Superior. Responding officers spoke briefly with Peterson before he went back into the house, came out with a rifle, and allegedly started shooting at officers. He was eventually taken into custody with no one getting hurt. In honor of National Disability Employment Awareness Month, the St. Louis County Historical Society is hosting a new exhibit at the Depot. It's a mobile museum that shares the story of civil rights for people with developmental disabilities. With stories from the early 1900s to today, the display offers a new perspective that aims to create inclusion. There's an open house in the Heritage Hall of the St. Louis County Depot from 5 to 6 p.m. today. There will be speakers from UDAC and Duluthians with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Some good news this morning on the firefight up the North Shore. This weekend's rain helped firefighters make progress in containing the Crosby Fire. It is currently burning at 300 acres in the George Crosby Manitou State Park, just north of Finland. Now the wildfire is at 70% containment. According to the Minnesota DNR, they are continuing to check the containment line and are mopping up hot spots. Officials are reminding the public not to fly drones anywhere near the wildfire so that they don't interfere with the firefighting efforts. It has now been nearly a week since the fire started last Wednesday. Investigators say the fire started after a lightning strike. And a portion of the Superior hiking trail in the state park remains temporarily closed as a precaution. The trail is closed between Caribou Falls State Wayside Rest along Minnesota State Highway 61 to the County Road 7 Kramer Road access points. The state park, however, remains open.